All right, I know that we only have you for just a time. Darren, do you want to just come and do like a quick kickoff so we can jump right in?
Sure. Well, so are there people here that I can like have asked questions in, or I guess I can't see everyone that
Oh, I'm sorry, my camera is not on. Hang on, I will do that. But Darren is going to just say good morning to the world and thank you to our sponsors.
Really fast. Oh, hey, there's everyone. How cool.
Good morning. Welcome from my pants.
Good morning. Nice to see y'all.
Why is it so?
Oh, well, you just covered up something.
Yeah, Darren, once you stepped away,
then it got brighter.
So. There you go.
It's in the middle of the room. What?
Loudly.
How loud?
Really loud.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Atlanta South. Thank you for being patient and dealing with us for our technical difficulties this morning. I'm sure it will happen again sometime in the future, especially if I'm involved. But anyway, we want to welcome everybody today. I know we're running a little behind. Our two presenters today are, I completely forgot, Fincom and
They're not here.
they're not here yet. So right now it is you. And without further ado, I do want to thank our sponsor, Highland Bakery, today for our delicious baked goods. As a reminder, this chapter of 1 Million Cups meets the first Wednesday of every month at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. For those that really want to tune in and get ramped up for the week. And without further ado, we're going to jump right in because I know you have somewhere else to possibly go sooner than later because you waited patiently for us. But it's Fincom.
Awesome. Hey everyone. So can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. You should be able to see my screen now, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Apologies for the bar in the lower part there. I don't know how to make that go away, but I'll go ahead and start. Hey, so I'm here to talk to you today about Fincom, where we're focused on creating digital trust. So we want to make you become invisible to marketers and help you get paid for your data. So today, I'd like to speak with you about a solution to a $32 billion problem. It's extracted from consumers and companies each year by bad actors who have been fined $200 million by the FCC, but only paid $7,000. Our solution can beat this problem and create a data marketplace for market research firms, a $2.7 billion industry with a 17% CAGR through 2026. Today's solutions are only 85% effective and get worse over time because they do not focus on the root cause, which is money. Our solution is 100% effective forever because we build money into every untrusted interaction. Before we get to that, let's spend a little time on a quick review of a company that touches most of our lives daily. Alphabet, leaders in AI, self-driving cars, mobile, IoT, venture capital, fiber, healthcare, and of course, Google. But it didn't begin that way. First, Larry Page and Sergey Brin experienced the awe and frustration of the young internet. Page theorized the internet may have been the largest graph ever created. As he looked further, he realized the similarity to links and citation from his academic career. That led us to this. The PageRank algorithm used technology to solve a huge problem by mining data from the abundance of the internet and in the process assigning value. It was 100% free, no paywall, no ads. And here we are 24 years later, still using Google. 100% free, no paywall, and no interrupted ads. Trusted search was step one. 3 years later, in 2000, they took it a step further and announced advertiser solution Google Ads. They began with 315 advertisers. Should I pause? Okay, there we go. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Their bet to place value on data drives 83% of Alphabet's revenue today. Google's patented PageRank algorithm gave them a huge advantage in the early internet. Similarly, our patented algorithm gives us a huge advantage in the data revolution because we value trust. For example, I think we could all agree in our current world of bots, fake account, spam, and more, trust may be as important today as search was in 1998. But where do we begin? Robocalls. Everyone gets them, nobody wants them. In fact, they're the #1 source of consumer complaints to the FCC. Current solutions known as spam call blockers are only 85% effective and get worse over time. I know, I've tried every one of them over the past 8 years. They're only a band-aid. Spam call blockers use a slow and intrusive process of listening to your voicemail, using costly voice over IP, and more. The bad actors are a living neural network that always stay a step ahead because spammers profit billions. Today's retroactive solutions are doomed to fail. Yet they've done well, with over 500 million downloads on Android alone. But we know we can do better, and we can stop spam. With Karma Call, it's safe to answer your phone again. Here's how it works. Download the app, verify your account, and relax. We block 100% of spam calls day one. Now your phone will only receive the calls that you want. And if they're in your contact list, you'll get the call. And we do all this without ever uploading your contacts, so everything stays on your phone. But what about those calls that are not in your list? Well, we use voicemail for the assist. So you'll get the call you want and never miss a voicemail. Now, what about that important unknown caller that you just can't miss? Someone who isn't in your contact but still wants to call you. Well, let's take a look at how native solutions work. These are all features your phone has, which we make easier for you to use. Our research shows that 84% of people don't even use these settings, so they have no filter. Now, what does Karma Call do differently? So why are we the ones who can beat spam? Well, here's how we define good calls. Bob isn't on Alice's contact list, so his calls get sent to voicemail. Bob decides to use Karma Call to send 5 cents of digital currency to Alice as a show of trust. That means Alice's phone will ring. If she picks up and the call lasts more than 25 seconds, Bob gets a full refund immediately. To talk about good karma, with a bad call, Bob starts the same way. But as soon as Alice answers, Bob asks for her social security number. So Alice hangs up immediately. And that means she keeps his money. Bob loses everything. This is how we stop spam, by addressing the reason it exists, economic incentive. Despite how cool this sounds, we can only be successful with network effect and mass adoption. We need people to join our platform because our platform gets stronger as it grows. In order to help us get and retain users, we have another unique feature where we pay our users for every phone call they block. Cashback is our superpower, and the market is responding well. We launched 3.5 months ago now and have over 1,000 monthly active users who have received more than 10,000 plus payouts for blocked phone call. We also have 4 companies interested in using variants of our IP to enhance their own outreach. And now, even if you think that our method won't work for phone calls, just realize that spam calls are just the beginning. Once we do a great job with phone calls, we'll move to text, social media direct messages, and other cloud communications. Think about the Internet of Things and all the different ways we can communicate with each other. Fincom wants to be there every step of the way to create trust for you. Our first goal is to scale users. Like Google search, we're solving a problem on a global scale. And because we want a network effect, we will offer our services for free. We offer this because we can do this because we don't have the overhead that our competitors do. Plus, remember AdWords, 83% of Alphabet's revenue? We've got our own plan. You can opt in to make some cash. If you want to let businesses contact you for your feedback, you can control how much they have to pay you. If you decide your time is worth 50 cents a minute, $1 a minute, maybe even $100 a minute, or $1 per survey, that's up to you to decide if you want to opt in. And we would just take a 30% commission from those businesses. For the businesses, it's an easier, more productive way to get you to respond to them so that they can better tune their product market fit or help with their lead generation. Like AdWords, we can use data to assist us in making money, but unlike AdWords or Facebook or Instagram, etc., we can share the wealth and let you get paid for your data. Marketers need access to highly targeted data, and over time, we can bring that to them. And this is just a quick little timeline of where we started. We started early last year, 2019, filed a provisional patent then, filed non-provisional a year later, got the patent in November. I graduated my PhD in September 11, 2019, and then 10 days later, I founded this company. So it's been a fun ride. And we just got a deal to be preloaded onto 15,000 Android devices in Brazil per month. paying 10 cents per install. So that's really great because Brazil is the #1 most spam country in the world. They get 50 spam calls per person per month, whereas here in the US, we get about 26 spam calls per person per month. So huge difference there. And we're really excited to be launching in that country. So this is my team and my advisors. Peter Gluck, our IP strategy advisor, has had 3 major exits over the past 10 years worth $300 million. So we're really excited to have his expertise on the team. And so we're starting by solving a $32 billion problem and laying the framework to enhance a $1 trillion problem, which is the data economy. So we're really excited about where we are and where we're heading. And that's it. So my 3 asks for you are, we need more users on our app. So if you have an Android phone, scan that QR code and give it a try. I mentioned briefly about our nano payment usages. Basically, we use these nano payments to help enhance communicating with each other. So if you know of any businesses that are interested in using nano payment to, improve their marketing campaigns, retain their users, get people to talk to them, you can pay fractions of a penny and get a response from people. It's a really interesting way. So, and then 3, if you know of anyone with any telecom or market research background, I would love to have an audience with them. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for joining us this morning. That was a pretty solid presentation. I doubt you can see me, but I'm just standing off the screen here. Usually we ask what we can do for you. You've been really clear about that. I personally can't think of anybody in the telecom or market research area. Anybody ring any bells for anybody?
I mean, I have experience in the telecom industry. I was a phone installer. I mean, the one question, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
It would be better for people at home if you got closer.
And not flash my fancy pastry from Highland Bakery. The question I have is, I guess I'm a little confused with, like, if it almost sounded like both devices would have to have the app in order for the call to go through. So you're just saying that it's just going to block anyone who doesn't already have the app installed. So telemarketers just can't even ring the phone.
It'll block anyone who is not on your contact list. I think I may have skipped over that part. I didn't mention it, but if they're on your contact list, then they get through. So anyone who's on your contact list.
What happens if they're using phone number spoofing in order to make phone calls?
So this is interesting. Phone number spoofing is actually a problem that we can solve if you have the application. There's a national effort for something called stir shaking, which is this law that the FCC is requiring telcos to implement, and they're doing it on a service provider level. So they give these service providers a private key, like a secret password, and everyone who calls through that service provider network has to be approved by that secret password. And then the thing is, we do that same thing, but for individual phone. So if you have Karma Call and the woman to your right has Karma Call, and someone tries to spoof as your phone number to call the woman on your right, pretending that they're you, they couldn't do that because only your phone has the key that Karma Call has. So we can end spoofing that way. But in that case, everyone would need to have the application. In the typical spoofing world where, that basically, if you don't have Karma Call, we can't protect you from spoofing. I don't know if that made you more confused or answered your question.
No, I mean, just to clarify, in case you guys don't know what telephone number spoofing is, like, I've got a PBX system on my house, and I can program it so that way when I dial someone, I can make it look like whatever phone number I want, or whatever, even what I want the caller ID to say. I can make the caller ID say the President of the United States of America. I've done it to my friends, just because I'm that type of guy who it makes it look like their mom or dad is calling them, so they'll pick up their phone if they're screening their calls, and or their wife. But it's really easy to do, and so people who are spammers, you may notice this, that when you get phone calls from local phone numbers, even though that they're calling, that's what spammers do. So they will find local phone numbers to you to spoof, so you think it's a local call and that you have a higher chance of picking up, unless because if it says like Ontario, Canada, or somewhere like that, you're probably not going to pick up the phone unless you're in sales. So with IP spoofing, with the phone number spoofing, it's really easy to kind of do that. And what was said is that I know there's been an effort for a long time, but I mean, do you realistically think that that's actually going to happen?
What was the last part of your question or of your statement? I didn't catch the last part.
Just do you actually think that the effort to put an end to phone number spoofing is going to materialize? Because they've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, no, it's going to materialize in the biggest companies like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. But there's still a loophole where the smaller service providers don't have to implement STIR/SHAKEN on a nationwide level until 2 years down the line. So what you're going to see is the spammers are going to stop using the major service providers and start flowing their calls to the smaller telcos. And then you're still going to get lost in, the copper interconnect. So it's going to be implemented, but it's not a out of band solution. So if you don't have an out of band solution in the US particularly, it's not going to solve the actual problem. It's going to look like they're trying to solve it and they're really, putting their best effort forth, but darn, those spammers just keep getting through. And that's kind of going to be how it is for the next couple of years. And potentially in 2023, when everyone had that install, you will see, the verified calls going through. So your phone's going to have like a little check mark, but that still doesn't mean that you're not going to get unwanted calls. You're still going to get unwanted calls.
Right, of course.
You're still going to be verified now. So that's why we're saying, forget that. Just ignore anyone who's not on your contact list unless they give you a 5-cent deposit. And if they're a good caller, they get it back right away. If they're a bad caller, well, you get to keep it. So you punish them and eventually, they'll stop calling you. So we believe our solution, which is an out of band solution, is the way to go. Because like you said, you can keep changing your phone numbers and doing that infinitely. And the solution is to just, let your contacts through. Now, given you could spoof as my mom or my dad, and I would pick up the call. So we can't solve that problem just yet, unless my mom and dad have Karma Call, which they will once I get this on iPhone. It's not on iPhone yet, so.
If you spoof a number that is a Karma user, is it possible that the Karma user would actually get charged for the call if it was hung up on?
No, that's the cool thing. We use in the background, we're using a blockchain. So that's how you get this wallet. That's how you get this payment wallet. So we use this cryptocurrency called Nano. And with cryptocurrency, there's a private and public key pair. So your phone is the only one that can make those signatures. If it doesn't come from your device, it's not verified. So you can, spoof from your PBX, but it didn't come from this Karma user's device. So it cannot get verified. And they won't get charged for it.
So you're using a cryptocurrency. Does that mean that the value of the cryptocurrency is going to fluctuate?
Yep. But we're talking, fractions of a penny. 5 cents to make the phone call. And if you're just using this because you don't like spammers, you don't like getting robocalls, you don't have to put any money in. I designed a system so that you don't have to really pay to get into it, which is super important to me.
But what you get charged is a percentage of the real-time data of what the cryptocurrency is worth. So it's possible that, I'm just thinking it's probably a minor point. I'm just thinking about what would happen if it was Bitcoin and, someone's got 20 Bitcoins in their wallet, then, 5-10 years from now, it's just worth $20,000 per Bitcoin instead of the 15 cents it was worth back then. Yeah.
Yeah, the volatility question is one that no one really knows the answer to. I mean, I could give you some theoretical answers that it's going to increase because everyone's using this. If I get this application into everyone's hands, then people will be using Nano, which we don't use Bitcoin, we use something called Nano. Then everyone will be using Nano and they'll start to see the utility of cryptocurrencies. And then it will just get more popular and people will start seeing that, hey, this is actually super useful. And then its value will go way up and you'll go to the moon. I can give you that answer, or I can give you the other one, which is Nano's gonna, sink because no one's gonna like it and blah, blah, blah. What's important to me is that, we have a way right now to globally deploy this application and globally pay people the value now. The value later, I'm not super worried about that. I just want people to, I just want to solve the spam problem, people are getting stolen. Yeah, $20 billion were stolen from Americans last year. That's real value being lost now that we can, stop. So.
So that's great. So two questions. One, I'm an iPhone user, so am I just waiting for Karma Call to come out, or is that not in your plans?
It is in our plan. We are looking at Q2 for an iPhone release. We're hoping to get a little bit of help with that. We're doing sort of a marketing campaign, pretty soon. I've been pretty low key about this application. So we're hoping with this marketing campaign we'll get the attraction of developers and potentially investors to help us with that part. Because that's a little bit more expensive for us to implement. Android with easy. iOS is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. uh, the other question is, so assuming I have an Android device or somewhere in Q2, I can download it to my iPhone and it's installed. What is the experience like for the robocaller that's trying to reach me? What happens on their end? I guess that's the actual workflow of how this actually works. Like I just install the app and that's it. I'm protected. I mean, that's great, but I don't really do this. Well, I do. So my business has an 855 number, and a lot of people don't answer the phone because they see toll free and they're like, oh, forget it. But I also have a New Jersey-based business and a Georgia-based business, so I don't want to use a 732 number and 404 or vice versa, because then they still hang up because they think that it's like what John said, a robocaller. So I'm just curious if Leslie has this app installed on her phone and I call her from my 732 number, what does her phone tell me, or what's my experience as the caller?
So if you did not leave a deposit, or if you don't have a balance in your Karma Call account, and you're just, let's pretend you have no knowledge that the person you're calling has Karma Call installed. So you call them like normal. You'll just get sent straight to voicemail. It'll go right to voicemail. And then you can leave a voicemail message for that person, and they can listen to it and get back to you or not. So it's basically almost like the phone is off. Now,
so me as a caller, though, I would have to have a Karma Call account with some funds in it in order to even call Leslie in the first place.
That's right. You don't actually have to have the app per se. You just have to have a Karma Call account with funds in it, and you can make an account through our website.
And you're, I had a question. I lost it. Sorry, I lost it.
It's okay. If it comes back, you can always ask me again. One of the cool things I did is I built another version of this application because I wanted to test if people would answer the phone at a higher rate if they knew that they would be paid for it. So I wrote the script to send 100 people a text message 20 minutes before my phone call. And that text message said, if you pick up this call in 20 minutes, you're going to get paid 50 cents a minute. And I tried 75 cents a minute and 25 cents a minute. And it turns out if people know they're going to be paid 50 cents a minute to answer a call, they're twice as likely to answer that call versus just a cold call. So I found that pretty interesting. That's one of the cool usages we can use our technology to do. But yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone else has any.
Okay, so I thought of my question, and that is, so your bigger go-to-market play is you need to reach, I don't know what you call them. I'll call them robocallers. Like you need to reach companies that do large phone outreach, right? I mean, is that basically what telecom and market research companies do, and that's why you're trying to get to them?
That's right. That's right. And at this point, yeah, no, you're right.
So then my final question, our other presenter was also having technical difficulties, but supposedly they are trying to join us. So hopefully we'll be able to switch from you directly to her. I'm not trying to drag you on longer because I know you have somewhere else to be, but my final question is, your background says Fincom. What's the connection between that and Karma Call?
Yeah, so I did my PhD in material sciences and engineering with an emphasis in nano engineering. So I spent 7 years studying the world's tiniest material and how to make it in large volume and make it do a bunch of cool stuff. And I realized two things. One, it's easier to sell bits than it is to sell atoms. And two, I really like using the micro to influence the macro. And so in material sciences with nano engineering, that's really easy. You move a few atoms around, you make a cool new material, and that goes onto a rocket that you can send off into space and explore the universe, right? So that's how you use the micro to influence the macro in the physical world. I want to take that knowledge and do the same thing in the digital world. So I want to use fractions of a penny, 5 cents, whatever it is, micro pieces of value, and use it to disrupt the macro, which is this $20 billion scam in the industry that spammers have. Plus, I really hate spam calls. I've been getting them for 10 years now, and they're really annoying. So I have a background with digital currencies as well. So I decided to blend all of my expertise together and make this cool new thing.
Great, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I understand you have to go, so we'll let you run, and we'll just talk amongst ourselves until our next presenter gets here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, if you want to reach out to me, please, Adrian@fincom.com. I'd love to answer any further questions. So reach out to me anytime.
Thanks so
for
much.
the audience. I appreciate it.
Great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. So now let's see about switching. I think if you stop sharing yours, you are welcome to jump off. That should bring our camera back.
Awesome. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Laura's with us. Oh,
What's up?
hey. And it looks like Jamie
Missing you
is
this morning.
here too. She's been with us. She's just been on Facebook Live and then switched over to Zoom.
I love the clock in the background
I
because
know.
now we know that if the video increases, we'll see the clock.
Yeah.
I feel
Well, and I
hypnotized.
learned that if I just registered on the 1 Million Cups Atlanta South. I didn't know that was a thing. So hopefully when I can't be there, I'll be able to get the Zoom information ahead of time.
Interesting.
So I won't every time I won't be texting Jason and Darren being like, I can't get on Facebook Live.
So here's a nice little trick though, is it's always the same Zoom link. So I put it in my calendar and I just have it repeating on the first Wednesday of every month and I'm good.
Well, and
So-
normally I want to be there. I just got set up. I have a 9:30 phone appointment. So I'm
I got
like,
you.
there's no way.
I mean, your office is close, but not that close.
No.
All right. Is it Jamie?
It's Jamie.
I figured as much, but well, good morning, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. I'm sorry that you had some trouble. We did too, but we're here. So in the interest of time, I just want to let you know that we are also broadcasting live to Facebook. So you're not only in front of a handful of people here and Laura, who's joining us on Zoom, but also whoever may tune in on Facebook Live later. So we can always present that link to you to use for yourself, however you'd like.
Fantastic.
All right, well, take it away.
All right.
You should be able to share your screen. I believe you have that control.
Okay, and I'm opening up my PowerPoint presentation. And again, my apologies for being tardy. It always happens when you have something big happening, internet goes down, and I'm like on the phone with Xfinity and I'm threatening to call the corporate office. And
Oh, God.
yeah, because I'm that person.
On the morning. Well, don't worry about it. Our last presenter literally just ended. So it was
Okay.
perfect timing as far as we're concerned.
Awesome. I apologize. It's taking forever for this PowerPoint presentation to open. So I'm just going to start speaking while I'm waiting for it to open in the essence of time, because I don't want to hold up anyone. So my name is Jamie Gathers, and my company was formerly Synergetic Virtual HR Consulting. And I have rebranded as of February 1st to Operations Outsourced. My company provides human resources, accounts payable and receivable, virtual assistants, and social media services to small businesses. I typically service clients who have anywhere from 2 to about 15 employees, but I will service up to 49 employees. When I say we provide services, we provide the services that small businesses need, but often can't afford. So the owner ends up wearing 1,300 hats. So for example, typically when someone starts a company, they're a solopreneur, they're handling everything, and then they start to hire. Usually the first hire is an assistant. And the unfortunate thing about the first hire being an assistant is typically they keep that hire for longer and move them into a position where they're either handling HR duties or they're handling the accounting roles. And this person usually does not have the experience to handle those things, but they have them doing it because it's a lot more cost effective to hire an assistant than it is to hire an HR manager or to hire an accounting manager. So the problems that my company addresses is one, making sure that you have someone qualified to fill the roles. Two, it eliminates the employer taxes because they're not employees, you're paying a service fee to a company. And three, it takes the headache off of business owners to handle everything. We are the complete back office. And so basically, we're close to a PEO, but a little bit more than that. And so the business owner, they have their product, they have their service, and they do what they're great at, and we do what we're great at. And seriously, this PowerPoint still has not opened. It's still just sitting here like, will I open? Will I not? Oh, wait, it just popped up. And it's frozen. Okay, keeping going. So a couple of examples of clients that I've assisted in the past. Let's see. The first would be, it was an employer who had 49 employees, and she was owned a counseling center. When I came in the door, they had about, I think it was a 28% difference in the pay gap between the highest paid counselor and the lowest paid counselor. They all had same education, similar experience, but there was a gap based on feelings, how she felt that day. So if she was in a great mood, she'd be extra generous. If she wasn't, she wouldn't be. And I said, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be either a discrimination charge or something is going to come at you. You have too many employees to be this willy-nilly with how you make decisions. She had policies, but she only enforced them with people who were her pets. And so we were able to go in and do a complete evaluation of all of her policies and procedures. We went in and we created the structure that she needed. We're able to restructure the pay rates of the employees. Now, I will say that was not the favorite part of everyone because, some people, their pay was raised and others were not. So we had some growing pains, but it worked out. But ultimately, we were able to, one, help her to resolve an EEOC charge, two, help her her payroll expense to actually decrease by 12% because she was paying way too much for certain positions. And three, we were able to help her to operate legally and effectively. Another client that we have assisted owned a moving company. And the challenge with this company was they were doing everything off the books because they thought, well, I'll get organized later. I'll register later. And right now, we're working, on word of mouth. So why do we need to register with the state? Why do we need to register with the county? Why pay those taxes? And when they came to me, I said, so you do understand that there are many contracts and grants and programs available to you if you're legally operating. And so I said, we need to get you set up as a legal entity. So we were able to help them to not only get registered with the state and with the county, but also with the DOT, the federal DOT. And they were able to secure several grants, which now have them close to the $1 million mark in profits for the year. So that is why it's important to have qualified people helping your small business to manage your back office. I'll take any questions at this time.
You did have one in the chat in Zoom from Laura, just asking what states you cover.
We are 100% virtual, so we will cover any state. I do try to avoid California, simply because there's a whole different, the employment laws there and the business laws there are a whole different animal compared to most of the states in the union. So I do try not to work so much in California, but we can work in any state.
Yeah. Karen's got a question for you.
So
Okay.
what differentiates you from all the other virtual assistant companies out there that I see online, and I mean, sometimes there's a, there's a special niche that somebody has that makes that separation.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm trying to decipher, and then I'll get to my next question after this. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you for your question. What differentiates us is we are not just virtual assisting. We started as a human resources consulting business. And so that's where our foundation is. So in addition to providing the human resources and the virtual assisting, we also have members members of our team who can provide accounts receivable, accounts payable services. So it's very similar to a PEO, but you can pick and choose what you need from us, and we can handle the entire back office, not just administrative tasks.
Okay. So that's, and this is just this is a little feedback for you, because obviously this is what 1 million cups is about. A lot of times it's, you recognize that there's something out there, a specific problem or issue that needs to be solved. A lot of times, kind of what I've heard from you
Mhm.
is basically a basic sales pitch. And so, and you're talking, you don't have any slides, which is really nice sometimes not to see a PowerPoint. Don't get me wrong. We see a lot of those, but it's solving that special niche in the market, or pain point that people have, something else that folks can benefit from. And this to me it's coming across just as a sales pitch about your company.
How can we help you grow?
So what can we do for you there to help you?
Well, thank you for that feedback. And again, I do apologize. My PowerPoint presentation wouldn't open. I'm assuming it's because our internet was having issues and everything is just frozen. It took me forever to get on Zoom, but I do understand. It's
Sometimes
better.
you just need to restart, but you're here. It's okay.
Exactly. And I think that it's definitely better when you have the slides so you can see it as you're hearing it. So I get that feedback. I understand. Well, what would be helpful to me is the groups that I typically, with this rebrand and relaunch as Operations Outsourced, what we're aiming to do is to connect with businesses that are launching, that are startups, because oftentimes those are the businesses that really need help with their back office. Typically, if you're more established, you won't need all of our services. You may need some of them, such as the HR services, or sometimes the accounting services, and maybe even the virtual assistant services once you get to a certain point. But if you're at a startup, you have an idea, you have a product, but you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to establish your actual business, because as we all know, there's a leap going from having a product or a service to actually having a business. Those are, two different animals. And so I would say the most helpful thing would be suggestions for ways that I can connect with startups, or approaches I should take to connect with startups in South Atlanta.
Where are you located?
I'm in Marietta.
Oh, okay. So you're pretty local to us too then.
Mhm.
I don't think I realized that.
I relocated here right before the pandemic.
Oh, well, welcome. Laura said, my feedback is that I would lead with what your qualifications are in HR when you pitch to businesses. It's a very important area where accuracy matters. Thanks, Laura. I know you got to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta go. Bye, y'all.
Thank you, Laura.
Bye.
Jamie, I'd say, I guess my one question is, how did you get turned on to 1 million cups? Is that something you knew about prior to moving to the Atlanta area, or?
Yes,
find it
actually, I lived in the Augusta, Georgia area, and I presented to 1 million cups there.
Sure, great. So 1 million cups for me, because I am also a startup, is a great place for me to pitch and get feedback. I'll give you a real life example is that I pitched my startup idea over 2 years ago to a 1 Million Cups chapter, and the feedback I got was so incredibly valuable that I scrapped the entire idea and started building it from scratch again because I saw it from a completely different perspective. To me, that's the value of 1 Million Cups. So, just what was it, 2 months ago, I presented that same business again here in my own home chapter. And it was really rewarding to be able to share with everybody where it has come to and why. Because like I said, I got all that great feedback. So for me, 1 Million Cups presenters are people who are really looking for that kind of feedback on how to grow their business. But I don't have a problem listening to anybody pitch their business because I think we all need that practice and you get that feedback and you hear where there's certain holes, right? So it is, we're here to help you in any way that we can. So your question was, how can you reach startups?
My question is my approach, and I don't, maybe I didn't communicate clearly what I'm looking for. This isn't a sales pitch. I'm looking for feedback on how I approach it, because when I presented to 1 Million Cups in Augusta, I received amazing feedback on my service offerings, and that was fantastic. And so that was my weak point in my business.
So I actually, this is great that you just said that, because in my opinion, it changes the entire mood of the whole presentation. And if you, Darren, can you share your sister's business and how she's differentiating herself from everybody else that does virtual assistant work? Because this is where I think you could focus on something that really does set you apart, and it be a really valuable way of presenting yourself.
And I hope
that's what I want. Absolutely.
I hope I didn't come across harsh when I was saying. Before,
no. I'm here to get feedback.
We're here to give you the feedback to help you get better at what you're doing, and we appreciate you being here for that. And that's the platform of 1 Million Cups.
Right.
So my sister has a virtual assistant company that she started this past year up in North Carolina. For her, her niche, basically what it is the women that are working for her all come from impoverished or a difficult background, but they don't have the business or life skills to advance. And so that's what she's teaching them as they come and work under her company. So that's
now, like, you take an ordinary job. Well, it's not, I don't need to call it ordinary, but you know what I mean. But like a virtual assistant position, which I feel like are kind of a dime a dozen these days, especially with everybody wanting to work from home. And you put this unique twist on it that all of a sudden, you play the empathy card almost, and people are more interested in listening to what it is that you do because of why you do it. And in her case, the why is because she's trying to help women who otherwise don't have the resources to get that education or just opportunity. And I feel like if you've ever watched Shark Tank, every single pitch has that tear period in their pitch where they start to connect with the judges about their background or how it's just they're passionate about helping, whatever it is, right? I have like a million pitches going through my head right now where I saw every single one of them was appealing to like a greater, bigger thing. And I guess Tom's was really the first company to start doing this publicly, but they really wanted to make sure that for every pair of shoes you buy, that you're buying a pair of shoes for somebody, that can't afford it. We buy these very overpriced stuffed animals for our daughter, but we love it because with every purchase of a doll, 10 meals are provided to people who otherwise couldn't afford it. Right. So there's always there's just some way to, I don't know what the right word is, present your business, to do something that's just a little bit different. We have Jeff, I don't want to give away too much of what he's working on, but Jeff's whole business idea right now is based on focusing on local, using local ingredients and then giving the extras or the leftovers, I don't know what to call it, but to give it.
I mean, waste is always
waste. Thank you.
A resource for somebody else.
Right, to give the waste to somebody else, right? So that's, I don't know, can I say? Yeah, so he's looking to start a distillery,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, using the ingredients and then being able to give those ingredients, what's left over, the waste out back to other people, right? So his business is clearly very different than yours. So are the stuffed animals and the shoes, right? Everybody can find a way. And listen, I'm here myself. My startup is an app. I haven't thought about any way to give anything back yet at this point. I'm so focused on making money that I haven't made any yet. So I'm still focused on trying to, bring money in before I think about how to give it out. But there's value in sharing how you're going to share the wealth with people in order to, even bring that money in the first place. So that'd be my feedback.
Okay, thank you.
You want to say something? It looks like you want to say something. No?
She always does.
Yeah. Anybody else? Awesome.
And
Well,
I
I'm
know-
sorry that this morning was stressful for you. I know how that can be with internet issues.
it happens, and I just hate that I was kind of caught off guard because I'm someone who likes to be ready and be, to go, and so it throws me off. One of the bits of feedback that I'm gathering is making sure people understand the why. And my why, which I did not lead with this because I did not have my PowerPoint presentation open. Do you mind if I just share this one slide so everyone understands why I do what I do?
Yeah, if it came up for you, by all means, go for it.
Yes, it is finally up. So I'm like, I will do this. All right.
We have somebody in the audience that is a professional storyteller. His medium is video. So I feel like, I'm actually surprised you haven't opened your mouth. You always have comments. Like helping her tell her story that would be really good feedback for her.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so this is why I do what I do. My purpose is to empower as many people as I can in the time that I'm on this earth. And so for me, the bigger picture is about empowering entrepreneurs because I believe that entrepreneurship is the path to wealth. And I believe that when you become an entrepreneur, you open doors for other people. You create opportunities for other people. So, for example, when I started my human resources consulting business, the reason for that was so that small business owners could create opportunities within their communities and empower other people. And so I wanted to have a small piece in supporting that process. And that is why any business that I'm involved in, that is why I'm involved in it. That is why I do what I do, because I know if I'm empowering that small business owner to grow, they're creating more opportunities in their community and everyone thrives. That's why I do what I do. And I know I don't really, sometimes me being very matter of fact about things, I don't communicate my passion and why I do what I do. So that's great feedback for me to build upon. So I appreciate that. But that's my why. So yeah.
All right.
I won't go through the whole PowerPoint presentation because I know we're at the end. So
No, I think I think you did great without the slides. To Darren's point, sometimes it's refreshing. I actually just applied to present. I will be presenting my startup at 1 Million Cups Charleston next Wednesday. And the guy asked me to send my pitch deck. And my pitch deck, if you guys remember, there's no content in it. It's just a couple of images to like help inspire the mood.
Mhm.
And the rest is just a script that I plan to deliver. So I think it's a different way of presenting. Some really need to show slides to explain certain things, and I definitely get a sense of your business. In fact, when Darren and I were off screen at the beginning, I said this could be something I'm interested in because I have somebody that I use to do my bookkeeping, and it's an agency, but they started doing invoicing and collections. And then we added bookkeeping. And now I feel like the invoicing and collections really needs to be done by somebody else.
Mhm.
And that's something that you offer. So I was like, well, I'm interested. So maybe we'll talk offline because I think there's, and this wouldn't be for my startup. This would be for my 20-year business. But yeah, anyway, we are over time. So to respect everybody's schedules,
Mhm.
I will
bring this to a close, but thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you
Got
so
some
much for having me, everyone. And thank you for the feedback. I genuinely appreciate it.
You got it. You got it. All right. All right. Take care.
You too.
Come on, Darren, you want to sign off?
Oh, sure. All right, thanks for joining us again for 1 Million Cups Atlanta South. We will be here next month on the exact same day, believe it, well, 1 month, so March 3rd,
Oh,
28 days
yeah, sorry. Perfect square.
to the minute. Beautiful.
February.
So there we go. I don't know what happened with the groundhog yesterday. I
Oh,
don't
we
know.
have more winter.
More winter?
Mhm.
Yes. All right.
Other announcements, I suppose, Start at Fayette is February 16th. That's the third Tuesday of this month here at Launch and Go from 5:30 until 7-ish. We'll go live on Facebook at 6. Our speaker this month is going to be focusing on the proper way to network.
He is jacked up about
Oh,
that. He is so
yeah,
excited.
I'm so excited for him.
And it will be interactive.
Oh,
So
good.
you definitely, if you can be in.
If you can be
here,
present, that'd be
you
great.
wanna be. All right.
Awesome. All right. Au revoir.